Well, the college basketball season will finally open for the Earlham Quakers coming up on Wednesday. They'll be hosting KENYON. We'll have that game for you right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Pregame will begin at around 7:15. Tip-off is at 7:30. Head coach Jason POLYKOFF back with us again this week. And by the way, had a chance to scrimmage not only on Friday, but on Saturday as well, right? Is that how it went?
Well, Wednesday, Saturday.
Wednesday, Saturday, that's right, yeah.
Yep.
See, my life is just going all together at once here. So,
you're all over the place.
All right, Wednesday, you're up against a very good team this past Wednesday. Yep. Then you play another very good team on Saturday. You should have a pretty good feel about your basketball team.
Yeah. So we played, I guess, a perennial powerhouse in DePaul on Wednesday. And, you know, the history there, I mean, they're in a great conference. They're traditionally a very strong team. So it was a good test for us.
Yeah.
And I thought we played well. We played better, I thought, than our first scrimmage, and everything was moving in the right direction. We played 50 minutes, 220s and a 10. If you add up the score of all 50 minutes, we won. We did not have we reset the score every 20 minutes, and we lost the first two. So, but they were close, you know, and so that's just kind of, I believe we're personally right now in a position we are playing the best basketball we've played at this point in the season since I've been here.
Good.
Which is nice to, you know, a nice feeling. This past Saturday we played Oakland City University, which is a Division II team down in Oakland City, Indiana. They, since they're Division II, they were able to start their regular season before we were. So it was an exhibition game for us, a real game for them, and we treated it as best we could like a real game. Yeah. Wore our uniforms, not our practice gear, and everything was the same. But anyway, very, very good team. You know, I was telling the guys after the game, that team would easily be in the top half, if not top 3 in our conference. Mm-hmm. And we basically had them tied at halftime, and then second half it was kind of a 5-6 point lead for them the entire time. Every time we got close, they'd hit a shot, and lo and behold, at the end we ended up losing. But it was a really close game against a really good team. So I was really proud of our guys. We were down a player, a big player, and they had some big boys. So you know, just I'm happy where we are. It's not where we're going to be. I still think we have a ways to go, but for at this point in the season, having not played a single regular season game yet, I'm happy where we are right now.
That's unusual sometimes, isn't it?
It's been unusual for the last few years.
Yeah.
We, you know, as we progressed as a program, we've been just building, and really in the beginning of the year it was always starting over, right? Every year, the first year here clearly starting over. The next year we brought in 7 freshmen, then we brought in 9 freshmen last year. So it was always starting over, and at this point we're still trying to work the freshmen into our system. And now with all these returning players, it's not starting over, we're hitting the ground running, so it's been nice.
Do you think that having the 2 scrimmages, well actually 3 really overall, has really helped you leading up to this first game?
I think so. You know, we've played some good talent, which has been, you know, kind of the strategy to play some good talent to get you prepared, but not overwhelming talent. We've played usually we play Division I teams in an exhibition game, and those games you can tell some things, but it's hard to tell a whole lot against Division I guys. So we've played 3 really good teams that really were going to help prepare us for the start of the season, and eventually the HCAC play, which is really the ultimate goal, is to do what we can in the HCAC. But yeah, I think these 3 scrimmages have been really helpful. It's such a long preseason. Yeah. I mean, you start October 15th. You don't have your first game until November 15th. That's 30 days of playing against yourself. Yeah. You know, obviously they get off days and such, but that's a month of just playing against yourself. The guys get stir crazy. They want to play somebody else, and then it gives us a chance to see what do we look like against somebody else, a different competition than Earlham. Yeah. And so having these 3 scrimmages has been really beneficial in that respect.
Have you had 3 scrimmages before?
No. So this year, normally the NCAA only allows Division III teams, I think it's actually all divisions, to play 2 scrimmages, and that's it. This year we were able to get a third scrimmage because we used the one. The NCAA gave a waiver for teams that were going to raise money for a charitable, have a donation to a charitable event. So we ended up doing, we raised over $500 for hurricane relief down in Puerto Rico, and they allowed us to have that game because we were raising money for that cause.
You might raise money every year, huh? I mean, get you an extra game, do a nice thing.
I'm not sure they'll do it every year. That's a good, but we'll check into it. But I mean, it's a win-win. We get a chance to play, and we give an opportunity to, do something good for somebody else. So, if we could do that every year, we will.
I don't think 3 scrimmages is out of line. Do you? Again, as you said, you're basically practicing for a month. Kind of nice to get something out of that.
Yes, ultimately, yes. I think 3 scrimmages is just right. I mean, NFL plays 4, and that's football, you know, and they're beating up on each other left and right. No, I don't think it's out of line. And again, I don't want to go on this tangent here, but I also believe that the preseason's too long. I think they need to chop that up, give us a non-traditional when school starts, let us have a shorter preseason, and then start our games that way. But again, maybe that's a whole different segment.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah, that'll be another. Yeah.
Well, you play Wednesday. We'll preview that game coming up in a couple of moments. Let's break down your team just a little bit. You have your top 2 scorers returning from last year, which is always good. Talk a little bit about your makeup from the veterans and then the newcomers and how they all fit into this puzzle this year.
Well, I think that's the best part is that we actually have some veterans now.
Yeah.
You know, we never had those when I was here before. We have some experienced guys that have been in the program for a while. I guess the number one guy you have to start off with is Elijah Wilson-Thomas. He's a senior. He's been here since I've been here. He's been here all 4 years. He knows what's expected of him. He knows what we want of him, and he's a really good talent. So he's the number one guy that I think a lot of teams will pay attention to. He's at 133 points away from 1,000.
Oh, good.
He's a guy that can go off at any moment. He finished the season last year. Last 7 games of the year, he averaged over 18 points per game. He went through one stretch where he's averaging for over 3 games in the mid-20s. He's just a guy, when he catches on fire, there's nobody that can stop him.
Yeah.
So he's somebody for us that I think will really be helpful, really be beneficial. And the other piece I'm so excited about for him is that while he can do his thing on the offensive end, he's really become, over these last 4 years, a complete player.
Yeah.
He does his job on the defensive end. He's going to pester the point guard, bring the ball up the court. He knows about rotations and help and all stuff that in the very beginning when he first got here he was still learning. Now as a senior, as a leader, as a one of the better players on the team, he's realizing I need to be a complete player, and that's what he's been.
Yeah. So
he's been great. The next guy that I think a lot of teams are going to identify, again because of his offensive ability, is Darrell Hutchison Jr. Darrell he's a junior here for us. He did take that first year off, so he athletically is really only a sophomore, but he's a junior. As far as maturity is concerned, he's extremely talented, and he's a tough guy to defend. He's an undersized big, right? He's about 6'3", but he's got a big body. He's got great hands. He's got great balance. Just a scorer's mentality, and he's a difficult guy to guard.
Yeah.
I mean, this past weekend against Oakland City, he had 28 points, and
wow.
probably could have had more if we just kept feeding him the ball. Who knows? But he's somebody else I think that other teams are gonna focus on. And then after that, we have a bunch of guys that I think will really draw a lot of attention for both their offensive and defensive prowess. Guys like Blake Bonin, who was he's a sophomore this year. Last year was one of the finalists for Freshman of the Year in the conference. Point guard for us, who he can shoot. He knows the game, good IQ, getting better in the defensive end. Tough-nosed player from Crown Point. We've got Isaiah Ware, who was injured all last year, who had a great freshman year, so he's a junior coming back as a guard. Chaney Zolman, who's a junior for us, who is our biggest guy, who, again, he went through some injury problems the last 2 years, is looking really solid for us this year. I mean, he looks more healthy than he's ever been, and has a different mentality, a different jersey number, all that good stuff. So we got him back. And then, I could keep going. Sophomore KJ Stalling, Kenneth Stalling Jr., I think he's going to have a really, really good year on both ends of the court. Targil Dasugi is just a rebounding machine. We have a junior transfer named Austin Dalabo who's been playing great, just tough. He's a leader. He's hard-nosed. Played his high school basketball with Luke Kennard, so he's been around crowds and been in those high-pressure situations, and he's not scared of them. So we really do have a bunch of guys that I think will help us out this year. And we're going to do it by committee. We're going to do it together.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't say their name doesn't mean they're not going to help us. We've got a roster of 21 guys, and I think there's a bunch of them that can really step in at any point and contribute. So that's been our mentality. That's our motto for the year is together. Whether you're, last guy in the rotation or leading scorer, everybody has a role in our program, and I think collectively we're going to have a pretty successful year because of that.
Yeah, more depth than you've ever had, right?
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, like I said, we're 21 guys, and it's really been difficult just to create a rotation because they make it hard because we've got a lot of guys that can play.
Yeah.
So that's helpful, and that's also been kind of our issue the last few years as well. Is we might start off pretty strong, and then when we try to go kind of a little bit deeper in the bench, they're either a freshman or they're still working on things, and that's kind of where we fall off. We don't really do that as much this year, which has been really, so far early in the season, been really good.
It is a nice luxury to have. Well,
Yeah.
We'll come back in a couple of moments. We'll find out what things are all about coming up on Wednesday. Kenyon will be in town. We'll talk about the Lords coming up next right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
Well, the season opens again on Wednesday, and then, of course, the Quakers back in action this weekend. We have a lot to talk about still. Let's start with Kenyon. Really a good opening matchup for you guys on Wednesday.
Yeah. So, first of all, I think it's good. I want us to play schools from that conference, the NCAC over there in Ohio. I think we play almost half that conference this year, and that's because it's strong talent, which is important to help us with the HCAC play. There's similar schools academically to us, so we've been going after the same types of recruits, and I just think overall it's just a good thing to have the relationship with those types of schools. So we'll start our season off with Kenyon, who will be a really good test for us. They took it to us last year. We went over there and not our best game, and you look at the statistics, was one of their, if not their best game of the season. And so we haven't forgot about that. And our plan is to come in and really just pick up where we've left off these last few scrimmage games and do our best to get off to a good start this season. But they're going to be a good test for us, and everything we do is preparing us, like I said, for the HCAC play. So. Yeah. Hopefully this will be a good one for us.
Yeah, I think they ended up shooting well over 50% last year.
It was. I tried to forget about it, to be honest with you. Learn from it and then forget about it. But no, it's good. That's why we have them back on the schedule. We feel like they would be a good test for us. They ended up having just a decent season. Again, they're in a great conference, so it's difficult. But we know we can play better than what we showed last year. So we plan to do that.
Yeah, they have a little bit of size too, don't they?
Oh boy, yeah. They're pretty big. We're pretty big, but we faced a bunch of big teams this preseason. Yeah. The way we play, we make it difficult for bigger teams to hurt us, so hopefully we can continue with that.
Yeah, they got to match up with you too, don't they?
Yeah, and then they got to be able to run with us.
All right, and then you turn right around, and a tough weekend ahead of you too.
Yeah, so we after the Wednesday game, we'll travel over to Oberlin, which is out near Cleveland, and we'll be in a 2-day tournament over there. We'll play Franciscan on Saturday and then Oberlin on Sunday, back-to-back games. And I think that'll be a good test for us to kind of see where our endurance is, right, going back-to-back. The travel will be on the road, staying in hotels, like all that experience is for younger guys, very new.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we're finally at a point where we have guys in our program that have done this before. So I'm hoping to get off to a good start on the road as well with those 2 games. So that'll be a good test, kind of the back-to-back situation on the road, staying in a hotel. That'll kind of see what we're made of.
Yeah, kind of anxious, ready to go, aren't you?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready, and I know the guys are ready too. I think despite the fact that at the end of you look on the final scoreboard against Oakland City this Saturday, while they had more points than us, we know we played pretty well, and there were a lot of instances where we just kind of hurt ourselves. Not like they beat us. Things that we can fix. And I think a lot of guys walked away from that game, despite the loss, confident. Because they know that's going to be one of the best teams that we play all year.
Yeah.
And we held our own.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Coach, good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, Troy.
Good luck this week.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Jason POLYKOFF will join us every week talking Earlham men's basketball. I want to remind all of you, go to Earlham's website, goearlham.com, for all the previews, information, rosters, you name it, statistics right there, as Mitch Blankensport does a great job keeping us all updated on Earlham athletics. And don't forget, Wednesday, we'll have the game for you, Earlham and Kenyon, 7:15, pregame 7:30 tip-off, all the action right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.